let me say this. All of my books are teachable moments. They are a variety of topics that help kids go through um, situations that we all have gone through, such as friendships. They need to understand the types of friendships that they're dealing with. So there's a situation, and I was just looking at Instagram recently. One of the little girls had went by one of her friends, and I think her name is Nikara, if I'm not mistaken. The coroner just posted a live on Instagram, and she was talking about teaching your kids about the type of friendships, because the people that you think are your friends, they beat this little girl up and then set her on fire.
But first, I want to introduce you to author Michelle Knight. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hey. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for inviting me, Queen. Thank you for even allowing me to be on your platform.
Oh, you're so sweet. But I want to thank you because, as I said at the beginning of the show, you have become such a great friend and sister to me. And I just really appreciate you. I think this is going to be your second or third time. Third time. Yes. This is going to be your third time participating in the Black History Month Literary Weekend. And I actually met you because I was supporting another person's event, if you remember, Roberta Spite, I think her name was. Yes. And so we actually met there. And I remember you called fussing at me. I was like, this lady is from Louisiana. I know she is. I hear it all over her voice. Well, let's go ahead and just jump right in. What got you started with writing? Why did you decide to write? And then why particularly did you start writing children's books?
My biggest thing was, let me tell you first, my thoughts were never to write children's book. I don't even like my children that much. So I never thought about writing children's books. My children really thought I was the angry, mean, crazy woman. I really didn't like my children. I love my children, but let's be honest, everybody don't like their children. But I have to say, and I tell people the same story all the time, that God woke me up. I asked God, what was my next step? I'm a military veteran. I gave healthcare 30 years of my life. I absolutely love working in healthcare. I think I've worked in every aspect of healthcare, from working with childbirth, working in mental health. I wanted to see why we were crazy. I never figured that out. I worked with the deceased, are people who was crossing over. So I never in a million years thought about working or writing. Now, I've written stuff in the past. I have a book that I've been sitting on for about 15 years, but it was about my life. So when I tell you God spoke to me in my sleep, I tell people all the time. And so one night, Jesus, I'm going to say Jesus, he said, get up. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. Jesus speaks to you at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I said, I'm asleep. And I turned over and I went back to sleep. And so the second night he was like, get up. I got something for you to write. And I was like, bruh, I'm asleep. Because that's how I talk to my God and my Jesus. I don't know how y'all talk to y'all God, but I am asleep. And he was like, okay, you're not going to sleep tonight. And so I tossed and turned. But on the third night, Jesus rose in 3 days. And so the third night I was like, you know what, bruh, okay, fine. He said, if you write what I'm telling you to write, you're going to get the best sleep, that you've ever had. And so I woke up, I'm like in the middle of the night trying to write down. My husband looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, Jesus won't leave me alone. Let me write what, let me write what he said. And so I'm sitting with my phone, trying to write down. I didn't even know what I wrote. And that was my first book, God Don't Make Jump. He titled it and everything. And so when I woke up that next day, my husband was like, you called cows, chickens from Texas. You were calling everybody, literally. And so when I woke up, they had a publisher that was in my Instagram. I had
Okay.
never had a publisher in my Instagram before. I wasn't even using Instagram like that. And so her name was China. And so she helped me out. I was like, look, I got this story. I don't, Jesus. I told her the whole spiel. And she was like, okay, let's see what happens. That was God's teachable moment for me because he wanted me to learn all the aspects in this journey. He wanted me to
Mhm.
learn how to fail, how to teach others with it, and then to create other teachable moments in the stories. And so that's what I did. So that was my first triumph. I learned about illustrations. I failed a lot. Um, it was a journey, and so now I have my own illustrator that I deal with in Ghana, and I help other people because it is a journey with doing
Mhm.
children's books. So I went from not liking my own children to writing stories about my children because they're crazy too. So yeah, that's what had happened.
Well, you brought your son with you to one of the Black History Month literary weekends.
Yeah, that was my bonus child. I brought him with me. He's currently in Louisiana now. But my daughter, she actually is an author as well. So she has the journal and she has reasons I don't like being the baby. She is the youngest of seven, not through me. I only have three, and then her pappy got four. And so I'm sorry. But yeah, so she's the youngest of seven. And so with her aspiration, she felt like, I'm the youngest of seven. People talk about how hard it is to be a middle child, but it's hard to be the youngest child too,
This
because
is true.
it's a struggle because everybody done left. They joined in the military, they going to college, they done grew up, they got their
Right.
own families. And her biggest thing is she left here with these old people. Honey, boo boo kitty, I am not old, first of all. But she left here with people like me, where I'm sitting here saying, God done everything with all these other children. I ain't churn. Girl, go sit down somewhere. They got computers and go find you some friends. I done, went to Disney World with everybody else. You got a whole 10, 15 years. Go sit down somewhere. And so now she, kind of lonely. Go find your own friends. She wants to go here. She wants to go. Girl, I am
Well,
tired.
that just goes to show how loving of a mom you are. She wants to be around you.
Yeah, that part. But okay. So I told her go write you another book. So she's in the midst of writing another book. Now, granted, I love her
Mm-hmm.
and I support her with her activities. She's the athletic child, and
Okay.
she's the one who wants to go to the museums and stuff like that. She don't mind going in the cold. I don't like the cold. This is my time to snuggle with me. That part.
Mm-hmm. I'm
I
with
don't.
you on that. I'm with
Yeah,
you on that.
yeah.
Because I
But
had to
I'm.
I had to be outside today and it was cold. All those
You
O's.
Yeah,
Cold.
that part, that part, yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't
So
that.
now is your I know you actually start publish your books under your own company.
Yes, Black Moms Reality Bookcase.
Yeah.
So
Now did you is your daughter under Black Mom's Reality
yes,
Bookcase as
she
well?
is.
Okay.
Yes, she is. So she has, again, she has reasons why I don't like being the baby. And she also has a journal called Tell Me the Tea, um, journal for young queens. And then I created the journal My Feelings Matter for the young kings. Both journal comes with affirmations for each page. It gives them a word of the day because they say us as African Americans lack in our vocabulary. It gives them an opportunity to rate themselves 1 through 5, and anything less
Mm-hmm.
than a 5, it gives them an opportunity to write down what happened that day, because a lot of times our kids don't tell us what happened every
Right.
day, and they hold a lot of secrets, so that way they can write it down and also use it as a reflection tool, so that way they can look back and say, hey, this is how I handled this. And then us as moms, we can be nosy and also see what happened too. So if we need to go beat up a child or a chap or a mama, then we can do that as well and be sneaky with it.
You can't be
um
beating up people's children now.
Shh, don't tell everybody. But then
It's a
also,
title of one of your books.
huh?
I said, which is a title of one of your books.
Don't tell. Yes, don't tell. But I'm actually about to title that book. I can't tell you what it is yet, but
Okay.
I have the title and it's going to be revamped. And I'm only changing the title because that title for some reason scares people. I don't know why it scares people, but I'm going to give it a much broader title. It's a book that many people don't want to talk about the topic, but it's a topic that needs to be talked about. So let me say this. All of my books are teachable moments. They are a variety of topics that help kids go through situations that we all have gone through, such as friendships. They need to understand the types of friendships that they're dealing with. So there's a situation, and I was just looking at Instagram recently. One of the little girls had went by one of her friends, and I think her name is Nakara, if I'm not mistaken. The coroner just posted a live on Instagram, and she was talking about teaching your kids about the type of friendships, because the people that you think are your friends, they beat this little girl up and then set her on fire. And the coroner she was so upset because of this situation that happened, because they couldn't identify the body without dental records. The little girl was 13 years old, and that was horrible. But it was kids, 2 teenagers that actually did it. And they were runaway kids. They were talking about, because they were runaways, this is why they did something like that. No, this little girl thought these were her friends. Teaching our kids about friendships, teaching them that people who love you can still touch on you inappropriately. You need to be able to tell somebody. Teaching our kids it's okay to be different. You don't have to be like everybody else that's in your classroom or in the entire school. Set yourself separately or different away from everybody else. Teaching them, about Black history. Love on your Black history. Know your Black history. God don't make junk. Just because you don't know what you're supposed to be right now doesn't mean you won't know who you are, what you're supposed to be in another 2 years. It comes. God has something different for everybody at a certain time. Just be patient. You have to learn your patience. And these are all lessons some kids don't want to be receptive of, but it's something they need to learn to accept.